Okay, well then I have one quickly.
Yeah.
So Mum and Dad went to, and
Did they?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
And yeah. Someone had bought it for them. It was really lovely and it was really nice, but like it was. I'm gonna say really nice. It was alright, but wait, but I don't know if that can be in because not that the person who bought it. But anyway, and Mum had her treatment and it was like just a 30-minute treatment, but she said the girl was literally like it was going like double speed. So you know the music's like or whatever.
Yeah.
The girl was going like literally like that. She said on my back she was like.
When did they go?
And she didn't feel like she could relax. She was actually the whole time going like.
In some ways, it's actually nice to sync it to the music because when everything synchronizes, it's like
I do that in a facial.
Yeah.
And when I can feel it like coming to an end, I'm like.
I know, and sometimes I think, oh, this is the perfect timing. Yeah. Which I used to do a treatment, and it had to be to the music. Wow.
But I remember you saying, because I remember saying like, oh, how do I know like the timings and we haven't got a clock and and you were like, oh, you'll get to a certain point in the music and you'll know that that's the time to stop. And I was like, oh, okay. But then
certain point in the music?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah. But
I think just a certain point, like in the...
But maybe you're talking, no, but before, were you maybe talking about that with the massage that you were doing?
Well, that was only one treatment, and to be honest, we hardly ever did it to the music because we had to do it on a CD player.
Oh.
And this was that was not that long ago.
Okay.
I know, but like what I probably meant was eventually you start to get used to your time.
You can feel when like now I still have my like phone there so I can double check or like tap it.
Because sometimes you might get lost and sometimes you might be like
But then it's like surprising you get to a point and you're like, oh wow, dead on 30 minutes, way.
That's so funny. That's a shame though. Sometimes when they go to these places, as soon as you hear the place, you're like,
Yeah.
When did they go?
Week ago? No, the week before they came here. And they loved that treat.
They're living it up at the moment.
I know.
So they should though.
Yeah.
And it's a nice gift, that.
No, it was so nice. That's what I'm saying. I hope none of this is in, but it was so nice of her. Like she really did not need to do it. But
it's nice to be appreciated.
Yeah. And it was. She said like it was a nice day, but like the massage was like.
Yeah, but it all comes down to the person. Sometimes you find a really good person in a good place, and sometimes you just can't.
Yeah.
You know. Right, let's get into today's episodes.
Ooh, American.
I used to think that I would live in America and that would be my home, and here I am.
You would have picked up the accent quick.
Oh yeah.
Quite fast.
Yes, but sometimes I think I am.
Yeah. You have the edge, but then that's the Bristolian.
Yeah, the Bristolian American. Right. Welcome back to the Check-In Podcast. I'm your host, Megan.
And my name's Amy.
Today's episode, we're going to be discussing...
I can't even remember. What are we discussing?
Discussing how to be more approachable as a brand.
Oh, yeah.
Both in person and online.
Yeah.
I think, really came about because, I thought of it last night, mainly because I've changed the reception area.
Yeah.
And the first time I've changed the reception area since opening, kind of.
I feel like we changed the rooms a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there's always something
to be fair, I change this room all the time.
Yeah.
I don't change your room as much, but that is on my list.
I do love my room though.
Yeah. I just want something a bit smaller. Just so there's that space. Or just like to move that trolley, because I've got rid of the trolley in here.
Because for people who don't come here or who aren't like don't live near us or whatever, don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Megan's room is bigger than my room, so I have a little bit less space. So that's amazing.
Your room is just and mine goes out a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we changed the rooms a lot, or you changed the rooms a lot, but the reception we've not changed for a long time. And it came in this morning, seeing it for the first time.
I can't believe it was so funny and I missed that on video. I was either you weren't going to notice, you were going to be like,
How could I not notice? It completely has changed, but like in a good way. Like still the same furniture. Yeah. You've brought something out from here. But anyway, the whole point of that reception area changing, I think, is to make it more welcoming, a little bit separated from.
Is that good?
I just
You've
I
had
don't know if I should
enough
even touch
already.
it. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. If that's okay. So
That reminds me of like a 5-seater, so I was like, that's it.
I'm too close to the mic. I'm too close. But yeah, so what were your reasons for doing it?
My reasons?
Your
No, I
reasons.
didn't have a reason.
Okay, you just did it.
Actually,
but you
in all honesty, for me, I like to move things around when I'm not having a good day. It helps.
Freshen up.
I put it in now. No, if I'm having a bit of a day, I want to move things around. Or not all the time, I just like to move things around. And I just wanted new furniture. That's since I've come back from holiday, I just was like, mission new furniture. And I didn't like it over there, but I love it where it is at the front because it does have more of that Barney-esque look to it, like the stable type of door. And that wasn't actually my plan to even move reception, and then it just happened. Because, you know, I was just getting going.
But it looks lovely. And the way that everything's displayed, like products and things like that. I know we'll go into products another day, but it just looks really nice. It's a nice space that doesn't feel intimidating to come into.
Yeah.
It's
a more like welcoming, I think it's more of a welcoming space for them to come in, sit down and have like a bit of space. Like, I don't want to say it was cramped before, but there was a lot going on in one area. Like, we haven't got a particularly large space here, but we have a nice space, but in that reception bit, it was like a big reception desk, chair, a bench, but people weren't utilising the bench. So I wanted to create, I was thinking actually, I did message a carpenter about like a window bench.
Oh, nice, yeah.
That would be nice. Not that he's responded to me. But
I mean, like what you have is...
It's nice there at the moment, but hopefully people, when they come in, will actually choose to sit like in the bench now and not like look around for a seat.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And then it just made me think, when you go into new spaces, how daunting it can be. And we get that all the time, of how you just get like nerves, you get anxious about going to new spaces. What will it be like? What will the people be like?
Yeah.
Is it, I don't know, like so many things. Is it clean? Is it nice in there? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it... And it made me just kind of spiral into how can we be more approachable as a business, both online and in person, because we both have a lot of experience going to places and a lot of experience with clients coming in. So what we think would be the best.
Yeah.
Like top tips.
I think it's nice as well because it's quite clear when you come in. Like, there's a nice seating area, so when you come in, have a seat, just get comfortable.
Yeah.
Whereas I think, obviously, having a reception desk is not a bad thing, but it was so big in that space. I think you kind of, then the client sort of stands there waiting, kind of looking around, and it's nice now. You can just come in, you can see it's a comfortable, relaxed environment, take a seat. Will be right with you.
It probably will go back to the original in some way, but who knows?
Who knows? I think the desk that you've got can only go in that one space, but that's another story. But I think that's the only reason
that's
why
where
we
it's
need to go back
positioned.
to it.
Because it has the lights above that.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes I go into a space regularly, and I've been going there like, I don't know, 6-7 times. And it's such a weird setup. They haven't actually got a reception desk, but what they have got is like a room, and often the door's closed. It's got one chair in it, just 3 steps down. They have got like a weird, like, not weird, sorry. They've kind of got like a tall cabinet, but like nothing. It's almost like a built-in cupboard. I think is where the electrics are type thing. But it's like one seat in this room, and then the door's closed.
Yeah.
And every time I go, I'm like, is this a waiting room?
Yeah.
Like, do I sit here and they come and get me?
Yeah.
Or do I go through this other door when then it's just an open space where there could be like 6 people? I'm just walking into this kind of... It's a lovely space. But even for me, I'm always, every time I go, I'm like, should I walk through that door?
Yeah.
And everyone will turn around and look at me walk through the door.
I was going to say, it's that awkward thing of like, you kind of ease the door open slowly because you're like,
Yeah.
Can I do this? Can I not? Is there...
And for me, that prime example is it's just not an approach. Like, I go there, I like going there, but it's not approachable. I don't actually feel comfortable even 6-7 times going. So I'm always like, I know it's a bit of a mind, like, anxiety thing. You're like,
but a lot of people are that way. So
for a new person going in, they don't actually know what's behind that door. It's really weird because they say sometimes to get people off the street, come up. But I mean, it's like upstairs, up another stairs, turn a corner, go down 3 steps, and then I'm in this room, and it's like, once you're in there, it's lovely. But it's such a, like, it's just weird. It's weird.
Yeah. The fact that you don't know what to do is uncomfortable.
Yeah. I really want, when I go somewhere, I either want it to be strategically laid out so I know exactly what I'm doing, or there to be something that's like, you know, when you go in a restaurant, you walk in and think, oh, do I take a seat? Or do I wait here and wait to be seated?
Yeah.
And then there's that thing of, like, sometimes you get ignored and you're just stood there.
Yeah.
And you're like, hello, like, I'm trying to come in, I'm trying to pay money, and no one's acknowledging you.
Yeah.
I love very much where there's that, like, host. When there's a host and they have their little, like, desk, you wait at the host desk. Is it hostage? Hostage desk? No.
I don't think hostage is a word. I could be wrong there.
Who knows, to be fair?
Who knows?
Someone does. My
It's just
sister
a
actually
host.
said she listens to these videos, and I think she said she cringes with what the words I say.
Oh.
And the amount of words that aren't actually around that I say. But that's okay, because I actually can't
didn't
speak.
notice them though. So maybe there's something wrong with me as well.
I'm also getting worse at speaking. But that's another thing.
I think you're doing great.
Thank you, Amy. But I prefer that where it's like, please wait here to be seated. I want some clear direction.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I said, it's uncomfortable to walk into a space and not know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's sit down, walk through, wait, not wait.
Because in my head, go on.
No, I was just going to say you need that clear space, like you said, either where there's a reception desk that you're going to go and stand to, like you said, restaurants, they have that hosting area that you go and stand and you wait, or there's a really comfortable seating area. So
I've just realised what I'm trying to say. Hostage.
No.
Oh, that's so funny. No, exactly that. Because when I think about it logically, when I go to this space, the area where I choose to sit is in that little room on the one chair. Because to me, I'm like, okay, this must be their reception area.
Yeah,
although I know through the door there is a small couch. It's weird. It's so strange. And it just made me think, like, how can we be the best that we can be? Because ultimately that's all we can do. And as well, as soon as we hear the door go, we are straight out there. But for some places, it's not like that.
No. I think it is as well, if you can't be straight down to the door or whatever area.
Yeah, if you haven't got a receptionist like we do.
Yeah, then it is nice to have that really comfortable space, because I think that is the worst thing to start a treatment off feeling uncomfortable about. Because it is such an anxiety, like, people get anxiety about going to new places and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, we both, for certain things, do. And so if you don't feel comfortable going in, then you're kind of a little bit on edge, and then you go through and you might chat to the person who might be the most incredible, lovely person ever, like your therapist, but you still feel a little bit like squirmy because it's been like an awkward entrance.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the first thing, and it's always with like businesses, like that first appearance, that first however many seconds.
The first few seconds.
Yeah, and that gives.
And it's just the acknowledgement of something.
Yeah.
Just even in like a lot of nail places, I know you can be hands-on, but sometimes they just look up and be like, oh, just be a few minutes, like take a seat, just anything. But when you get totally ignored, you're like, should I just go? Like, it's just like,
I sat in this chair outside.
Yeah. It's just funny, isn't it? And I don't think I'm even that anxiety, like, I don't get anxiety that much. And I've only probably experienced it the last, like, year or so. But it's just interesting because some people who are quite anxious will get these experiences all the time. And it's like, how can we, as much as possible, like, bring it down to be like, people are still going to get it going to a new place, but bring it down to a nicer level where at least they know what walking into, what they're expecting. And I think if it goes back to like how they found you,
Yeah.
if it is on social media, like so much of it is, when people message us, I'm always trying to be really like courteous, responding to them, informative with like what I'm saying, but like really like welcoming. And I think a good way to show that, obviously you can get a lot from conversation, but also images like of how you look, like how each team member looks.
People like to know what they're coming into.
Yeah, it's just such a comforting thing. It's like when you see someone, it's like you just feel comforted, like, oh, I know that is Megan and that is going to be my therapist today, and oh, like she's here, she knows I'm here, like it's like kind of like a mutual. It's weird because like someone will come in, we'll offer them a seat, give them a glass of water, and like then ask for their names, so straight away we know who they are, and more than likely if they've booked online they already know who we are. Even if they're not with you, they might see you and they might have already seen your photo. I just think it's nice to have just that image of you and how to create it as much as possible, because it can be, I don't know.
I think the online presence is so important because, like you said, that people do, like, in this day and age, people do look for that. And almost people get a little bit put off if you don't have that.
Especially on the service, it's like, even when you go to the doctors, you don't know you just know a doctor's name. And you're thinking, oh, what's this person going to be like? Are they going to fob me off? Are they actually going to be real? And it's very like, I don't know, it just bridges that gap slightly of, I know who I'm going to see. Because my doctor said, I swear they used to have pictures of them before, but I think they changed so much. Like, all you get is their name now. And it's like, it's so weird because like you're just in the waiting room and then you have to open the door and then you just see this person and suddenly you're like, oh.
Hi.
And actually, like, not an appearance, but the way, mannerisms, the way that you're approachable, whatever. Like, straight away you can see that, especially when you go somewhere new, because all you have in that moment is the image of them, the way the body is, if they're smiling. So it's very, and especially this is such an intimate service.
That's what I was going to say, speaking on like doctor's appointments and things like that, it does semi-relate to, because it is so intimate and it is a bit vulnerable as well, and I think it's so nice. You almost have to be that like kind, caring. You have to show that within the first, like we said, few seconds of meeting someone and really make them feel comforted and at ease. Because it's nerve-wracking, it's vulnerable, even, and not just like massage like we do, like even nails and things like that. It is so intimate. You are working on people's bodies,
but now's I think especially you're sat with them face to face,
holding hands,
literally holding hands, and it could be for 2 hours or more, and it's a long amount of time to like build a rapport with someone, have that connection, like have things to talk about, that you're not so robotic and saying like the same to every person, trying to create that unique feeling whilst also trying to focus on your work.
It is a hard job. I would say for all of us in this industry, it is a hard job because you are juggling. You've got that customer service side of it, as well as the actual treatment that you're doing, as well as making sure the space, the environment, everything is perfect for people. So it is a lot.
There's
but
so much to this industry.
It is.
I think it just, it's such a beautiful industry, but there is so much other stuff to it where people are like, oh, I could just do this as a side thing or da-da-da. And it's like, no, there's so much that goes into it.
Find that you can train in something, but just you doing the service and not having that like approachable space, not having that online presence, not having that welcoming touch when they come in, and etc. Everything we've said can be the make or break in your business. Because you could be amazing at what you do, but if you don't have that comfortable environment within your, like you and how you are in your space, people will find someone else.
It's actually so hard when you think of that. It's like you could be one of the most incredible therapists or technicians or whatever you do, but if you don't do all the other stuff, there's actually nothing.
And I think as well, like, especially, I mean, that anyway, and has always been the case, I would say, but especially nowadays with this online presence, the aesthetics, the vibe. If you're not someone's vibe or you're not their aesthetic, they'll more than likely go and find someone who is.
There's so much now in this industry. So many people of all, like, that have all different things about them. To stick with one person that just isn't your person.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well, like, there will be people who are your people and there will be people who are not.
Yeah.
But I just think overall, with all these touches, having a nice space, having that welcoming touch, everything like that, it's important.
Yeah.
You can't really not have that.
Yeah. And it's having that, I mean, I think a lot of people overthink things as well, as in, like, business owners who have, when someone gets in contact with them, like, is this sounding the right way? Is this still professional but friendly? Is this still, like, informative but, like, not giving away too much? That they could find on my page or on my website or anything else. But also that, like, it's tricky. Because you don't also want to be, like, super friendly that you're, like, overdoing it. Yeah.
Because I've definitely had that before. Messaging people and then being like, oh, I don't know, this is a bit much. But then going, they were incredible, the most lovely person ever. But through the messages, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It's hard. You've got to, but then at the same time, it's like you've got to stay true to yourself. And if that's just what you're like, and you're getting it across in a message.
I think that was the thing, because I was like, oh, that's a bit much. And then I went and I had the treatment and I met her and I was like, no, that is exactly how you are. And you're an absolutely incredible person and you're lovely and blah, blah, blah.
I think,
But
when you meet someone, you actually see how it lines up.
Yeah.
Because I have this one lady who messages but she'll just message, I don't know, like 3 words in each thing, but she will message. But that's how she's like in person as well. It's just like, and you're like, when you know someone, it's just easy then, because you're like, no, this is what she's like. I can just respond to her the same way instead of being like, I'll still be polite and catty or whatever. I'll just be like, 3:15, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And like, I'll just be so simple with her.
I think that's the thing as well, like tailoring it to people, like as you get to know people as well, because the whole approachable thing is not just and it's not just that first experience you have with them, you have to keep it up. And I think as you get to know people, you can adjust what you do to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You kind of, you know what works for them and what doesn't. And like you said, I think,
and your relationship changes, I guess.
Although
like still keeping the professionalism with it, because at the end of the day it's still a service and you're still like making a career out of this. But in terms of like, they'll start to, especially like nail techs, hairstylists, they'll learn that, like, places where you're having more conversation, they will learn so much about you and know so many ins and outs of your life and relationships and work and friendships and everything. Your relationship does change, but being on like both sides of that, as in like one hearing details and then one who also gives details. It's very it's interesting, isn't it? There's no other industry that kind of does it like we do.
So personal.
It's interesting. It's weird, isn't it? But just a snippet of what we think to just evaluate in your business. What's your online presence like? What is your space saying? And your space can be, even if you rent a room somewhere or you're in like a garage conversion or anything like that, just little things you can do that might change. You gonna sneeze?
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. I'm playing really weird faces. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, but it's not coming. Sorry.
You're okay. You can sneeze away. What you can do in your space just to like make those little, because actually even in you know when you go to someone's house, the clear direction of that. Even for like you, for example, being a bit further out, but you'll give good detail on whereabouts you are, like even down to parking sometimes.
I message all of my clients to explain parking, and if a client's like
hard
a minute late, then I'm straight on the phone. Not to be like, where are you, but to be like, you're probably lost. Like if you haven't understood my directions, let me help you
When
out.
I first went to your house, it didn't take me.
It takes you to the pub, which is nice.
No, but mine didn't take me to that pub. Mine took me to the lane, like just as you're about to turn left, and there is a bit of a turn into the right, and then you go all the way around to the pub. It only took me to up that lane.
I don't know what it is. I do live a little
It's
bit
funny.
in the middle of nowhere,
But just having that understanding.
making sure, and knowing that can be a really stressful situation again, and you don't want your clients to come in stress. It was what we were saying in a previous episode about like parking and things like that. If you don't know where you're parking,
knowing your
like for
plan.
the client to give themselves time, but it's not just about the client giving themselves time, it's about the therapist knowing that that's something that maybe is a little bit tricky and putting some extra effort in to make it easier for them.
Yeah,
so
that pre-warning, because then you're like, okay, I might need to give myself additional time. Because
just anything you can do to eliminate any kind of stress, any kind of anxiety, uncomfortable, going into the unknown. It is a lot for people. Is there anything you can do to improve that experience? Yeah, just do it. A lot of it doesn't cost. It's just, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't cost to take 2 minutes to message someone or to, I don't know.
Just to ease some uncertainty, really. But to finish the episode, we do have a question.
Woo.
So,
I just touched the mic again.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because of, I don't know. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. Hi, Megan and Amy. Just to say I'm loving your podcast. Oh, I flicked the hair out of my head. In my face, sorry. I'm not sure if anyone else has this problem, but I'd really like to know how to deal with people who contact you with lots of questions about your service, availability, price, where you're based, etc., but don't book an appointment. I've had this happen with at least 5 people when I've advertised at work, even though my website and Instagram were clearly showing. And often they don't respond once I give them the dates. I would love to know your thoughts. So,
that's a tricky one.
It's such a tricky one because people love to ask questions even when it's right in front of them. And sometimes, if you're in a good mood, you might go into it. But if you've invested in a website and your Instagram is knowledgeable, you would hope that someone would seek the answers out. But I think most people would seek the answers if they're truly interested. Yeah. And not to say they're not interested, but to say if they're actually
really wanted the treatment
and are going to book.
And they're going to look into everything. Really,
because some people, I had a client the other day, she said she's wanted to come since last February. So what's that, nearly 18 months?
Over a year, yeah. Oh, well, longer than 18
yeah. Not 18 months.
16 months.
Yeah, about that. And that was literally just like putting it off. And in the end, she booked a really last minute appointment. And I think for some people in this industry, it is not, for me, like having a massage is a necessity in my life. But some people haven't been brought up into that or know the benefits of it. So you really need to educate them on like, why is this good? Yeah. And some people also don't allow themselves to actually have relaxation, pay for something that's just for them. Like people can feel like it's a selfish thing to do. There's so many reasons why they don't book. Sometimes people are just nosy as well and want more details. I think if it happens a lot, refer them back to the website. Yeah. Also, just do a little analysis on your page and just be like, right, if they're asking location.
Yeah, what questions are they asking?
Is your location clear on your page? It should be, for me personally, I think it should be like in your bio or at least linked on a location. You can just say if it's Bristol, just Bristol. Yeah. Availability. Sometimes I think we get confused, like our stories only last 24 hours. So if you post it on your story, if they might not have seen it. Yeah. I miss, like on my personal page, I'll go days without looking at it. And I would have missed everything that's happened in those days, like in the 24 hours. So unless you're constantly reposting it or as a permanent feature on your page, then... And also I think sometimes people in this day and age love ease. So although you have your booking system, people will still message, like if you put up your availability, they might still be like, oh, I'm actually free at that time. But they haven't gone to check your system, but they've seen that, so now they're booking. Yeah. People are hard. And the thing is, if they ask your availability, it gets you kind of excited, like, oh, someone's like going to book.
Yeah.
And especially when you've not got loads of bookings, you can like, you pinpoint it a bit more. Or when you know you've got a space. If I know I've got a space and someone's responded like, oh, is this still free? And I'm like, yeah, it's still free. Like, which treatment did you fancy? And they don't respond. I'm like, But then I've done it.
Yeah.
I've responded back to someone and been like, oh, do you still have this? And then actually I've thought about it and thought, oh, I can't get there on time, or I don't want to spend the money.
People get excited in the moment, so they send
Yeah.
a quick message, not thinking too hard, and then it turns out they actually can't.
It's a bit
do that,
FOMO
so-
almost sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I wish I could have, like, is that still available? I wish I
Yeah.
could have it, and then you can't. It's weird.
Yeah, I would say just about like trying to get these people in. I've not done this myself. I don't know if it is the right way to go about it. But I remember I had done a similar thing, messaged a hairstylist, and then like didn't book whatever. And maybe like a month later, or maybe 2 months later, they sent a message just saying, we know you've been interested. I don't know, we hope you are well, blah, blah, blah. We thought we would just send you this little discount
Yes, I was going to say
code or
that.
discount offer.
It's a little
It's
prompt.
like
It's a little like when you do online shopping, you've put some stuff in your basket and thought
Yes,
no,
yeah.
and then they send you a code.
still in your
And-
basket,
yeah.
you want 10% off.
Yeah,
It's
it's a little incentive. That's what I was going to say.
yeah.
I've done that before a few years ago, and it would be like, just because they've shown interest, and it's like, all right, let me show you a bit of like,
Yeah. And it was nice. So okay, I
Incentive.
didn't go for them. It was like a London place, so
Of course.
obviously. But yeah, so I just didn't go for it. But when I got the message, I was like, oh, and like you followed me up on it. You're not you care about your clients. You want to bring clients in.
yeah, and you've remembered it.
Yeah, and I remembered it. That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
So
it's a really good
You
way because
don't
you've
want to
already
be
got them
doing it.
hooked.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to be doing it constantly.
No.
But if you are,
Oh, speaking of London.
gosh, if you are struggling, if you are noticing that it's happening multiple times, and if you are maybe new in the industry, I don't know if this person is or not.
Yeah.
But if you are new in the industry, then it might be an idea to just give a little incentive. But
Yeah.
like, don't not offer to everyone like a little private message.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
personal.
just directly, because then it feels like, oh, what? Just like for me.
Yeah, for me. Oh, I get 15% off.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And I just think it's like they've shown interest. They might not follow it up then, but you might not be out of mind.
Yeah.
It might be that they're trying to get to you, but the
Yeah.
time just isn't now.
And I think as well, if you do give that little incentive, then they kind of make it work a bit more.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's there, like,
Yeah, like, oh,
it's,
really?
it's
Like,
annoying, it is frustrating having to.
sometimes you have to play the game.
But yeah, exactly.
And then eventually, like, you'll get to a point where the game is a little bit easier in some aspects and you won't need to offer it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's almost a little bit like a hook. You kind of get them in with this discount, they come in, they see how amazing your treatment is, and then they'll be back. They'll get back in, you either rebook them there and then, or at a later date they message again.
Exactly.
But it's just that you're getting them in, and that's the most important thing, because until they come in and realise how amazing your treatment actually is, they're not gonna, if they haven't jumped on it on that first instance, they're not gonna be, I guess, finding the time and jumping into it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think
Once
that's
they've
the,
sampled your like treatments, it's just like,
yeah,
you know.
you're in there.
And actually, something another business did, a different industry. If I liked one of they're local. I liked one of their like reels. I really like the way they do their advertising. I like one of their reels, and actually they messaged and said, it's a fitness industry, and they messaged and said, oh, like, seeing you've interacted with our story, like, are you looking to do a session? Do you want to have a consultation with us on the phone? And they actually reached out like to me, and I just thought that's another way of getting business. There's so many ways to draw on clientele at the moment.
Yeah.
If they're interacting with a story, shows they're liking what you're doing, shows they might be interested, or there's some interest there.
And the thing is, they can just not do, like, the client you've messaged or whatever can just leave the message be and not do anything. But you're getting yourself out there more than.
Yeah.
It's like you've
just got to put yourself out there. You've just got to fully throw yourself into it.
because I think as well on Instagram people can scroll through things and think, oh, that's nice, double tap.
Yeah.
Scroll again, that's cute, double tap. But
now when you see
You've
something in the
actually given
inbox,
them
it's like,
yeah.
oh, actually, they've
they've
messaged, wonder
noticed,
what they're
yeah,
going to say.
Exactly.
You know? I think we've
So
answered
I would
that pretty
say,
well.
yeah, it is a really tough one. It is hard, it is frustrating. I think there's little things you can do, but I think it's also just part of the industry.
Yeah.
And just human nature.
Yeah, human nature, people in general. It can just be
Yeah.
hard to get people through the door sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for today's episode.
Yeah.
Till next time, I've been your host, Megan.
And my name's Amy.
We fucked that up. We fucked that up. We're going to have to do that again. What is our intro outro?
Not that.
Till next time. No, it's just, oh yeah. My name's Megan.
Really?
We're taking 2 on that. I just cut that.
Okay.
We'll see you next time, but please make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, following us on Instagram, and all of the other good stuff. Our name is Megan.
Your name is Megan.
My name is Megan.
And my name's Amy.
Till next time, we're checking out. Bye.